Hi, and welcome to the sixth episode of the Silver Lining series, A Fork in the Road. Today, we're going to talk about the differences between optimism, pessimism, and realism, and explore how we can blend all three of these attributes to become more well-rounded human beings who aren't defined by any one characteristic or tendency. So, I want to start this talk by sharing the shocking news that I think I have been misled my entire life. If you ask anyone on the street what metaphor is used most often to talk about optimism versus pessimism, they will most likely say, is the glass half full or half empty? Duh. But here's the thing. My entire life, I have been told that the glass half full viewpoint represents the optimists, and the glass half empty represents the pessimists. Well, let me tell you. Let me let you in on this shocking viewpoint that has me questioning life itself, because there is an argument that we have gotten it all wrong all along. So here we go. A glass contains 50% water. What if I told you a pessimist is a person who considers the glass half full, and an optimist considers the glass half empty? And then the third party that's forgotten about in the OG metaphor, the realists, just drink the water. Stick with me here. A pessimist sees a glass containing 50% water and believes that that is all there is. The glass is half full because half a glass of water is as good as it gets. The pessimist believes there will be no more water. On the other hand, the optimist sees a glass containing 50% water and views the glass as half empty because the optimist expects more. The optimist believes that there will be more water. And a realist just drinks the water and gets on with life, understanding what it means to be in the moment and accepting the uncertainty about what will be. So interesting, right? Another way to understand the differences would be to talk about sunglasses. You often hear optimists view the world through rose-colored glasses. So then pessimists would view the world through blackout glasses, and realists would view the world through clear glasses. So which one are you? I think all of us have an innate tendency to lean more towards one perspective than another. Again, awareness is a beautiful thing. But let's talk about how we talk about these different mindsets. So often, optimism and pessimism are placed at opposite ends of the continuum, with realism placed in the center. Optimism gets a good rep, pessimism gets a bad rep, and realism gets misconstrued. Realism gets misconstrued because oftentimes we use realism as a cover for pessimism. We say we're being realistic when really we're just being pessimistic. This is especially true in the workplace. When negativity is labeled as bad and positivity as good, when labels of positive and negative create a work environment where all viewpoints aren't welcomed, how are we supposed to grow? For example, if you had a project team full of only optimistic people, they would make very slow progress after their first idea, because rather than looking at what could be done better and being critical of their work, they would sit around patting each other on the back for what they have done right. But if you had a project team full of pessimists, they wouldn't get very far past their first idea either, because everyone is pointing out all of the faults and mistakes, which leads to discouragement and a lack of motivation, which causes the team to work slowly or even disband the group altogether. And yet, we tend to value optimists more. The thing is, though, humans would rather have someone constantly motivating them to do more work than telling them what work needs to be done. So therein lies a dilemma. In reality, overuse of either mindset isn't always in our best interest. Optimism and pessimism and the misuse of realism are frequently terms and perspectives used to protect our emotions. Optimism can be used as a protective mechanism when we fear a negative outcome. Pessimism is used as a defense mechanism in the same way, to avoid disappointment. And if we're using realism appropriately, it aims to keep emotions out of the equation at all. So how do we find balance? How do we find value in understanding all three perspectives? And how do we disassociate the negative connotations that each label carries? Find the balance within each perspective. So back to the beginning. We can blend all three of these attributes to become more well-rounded human beings who aren't defined by any one characteristic or tendency. We can be all three. It's like when you wake up and the sun is shining through the clouds. We can learn to put on the rose-colored glasses and manifest a beautiful day, but also throw an umbrella in our bag just in case it rains. and stand outside for a moment longer to feel the sunshine on our face. The optimist, the pessimist, the realist. Balance. So the silver lining is that even though we all tend to lean one way or another, we have the ability to be all three, to feel different emotions at the same time and choose our mindset at any given moment. But there's a fork in the road. Do we perpetuate the same negative environment with labels, or do we break the mold and create an environment where we can wear whatever color sunglasses we want? The choice is yours.